Meria Carstarphen is the superintendent of Austin School Districts. You're known for being a hands-on leader. What are some of the things you do to maintain high morale?
Well, I mean, like I've said, we're a business of people. We're a lot of big people working with little people to make them better big people than we ever were. So the concept of making a social emotional connection with staff and letting them know that you care about them, that you want to ensure that they have the kind of resources and supports they need to be able to do their jobs. And most importantly, at least as far as teachers are concerned, the research does show that the biggest motivator in their lives that I can influence is the selection of the principal, to ensure that we have the best leader in schools who are working with them every day to motivate them on the front lines. So we do a lot of supports in that way for our instructional staff.
You also mentioned that the rest of the nation looks to Austin to be one of the most innovative school districts for a number of reasons. What are you doing in the Austin School District to make sure that you uphold those high expectations?
Well, you know, it is a lot of pressure to be the school district in what is arguably one of the coolest cities in the world. We do a lot around ensuring, like in today's talk, that we're very responsive to our changing demographics, whatever that may be in whatever year. We also want to keep promoting the concept of the creative space that Austin touts as our kind of city mantra and keeping Austin weird. We have a lot of school choices, a portfolio of options that are as rich and diverse as the city itself. We also kind of go to the edge on the creative space and how we offer those new programming. So we have everything from single-sex schools to high schools where students can write their own program for when and how they graduate. We have everything in between, even at the elementary level, with signature programs that are sort of the first choices for families who move to this area. So it's It also kind of resonates. We do a lot with with the city being the live music capital of the world, or so we self-report, and because of that, we are investing a lot in music and art, digital media, and some of the new frontiers in an arts-rich environment. So we team up with the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. and our local arts partners in the city to help bring that $4.35 billion of economic growth and 50,000 jobs that it creates into our classrooms and really prepare our learners for the future of Austin.
You mentioned changing demographics. I want to talk a little about bilingual education. You started your work in Alabama. You've also worked in Ohio and Minnesota and now on to Texas. And 1 in 3 students in the Austin School District do not have English as their first native language. Why is bilingual education so important?
Well, in Austin, we want to ensure that at minimum our kids are bilingual, bicultural, and biliterate, and that's a starting place. So we have a lot of research on language learners that shows that when a student is able to capitalize on their home language while also learning the new language, that it is a benefit to them academically for the rest of their lives. They become fluent and capable in 2 separate languages, 2 separate cultures. That really makes them a far more appealing adult and worker for the future. We flip it around by utilizing dual language programs across our system to ensure that English speakers also benefit from the natural talent, if you will, that our language learners bring just by who they are. So it's a win-win for both sides. All of our students who are exposed to these models will end up being more marketable in the future workplace.
Absolutely. And having worked all over the nation, do you think the rest of the nation understands how important it is that our students do become bilingual, if you are a native English speaker, do you think we really understand, not living in Texas, how important it will be in the future?
Well, I mean, like you described, I'm not from Texas, but I am from the South, and but I don't think this is unique to the South. We kind of have a national norm around this kind of language and cultural diversity that I think actually holds our country back. We work far harder at trying to assimilate people to the American culture than we do really embracing what people bring to the table and incorporating that into our public school systems across the country. So I think across Europe and even in Asia and other countries, you find that it is very common for students as early as elementary school to already be exposed to and almost fluent in 3-4 different languages. And this is an area where I think the United States is behind. It makes our students far less competitive in this flat global economy, and it's something that in Texas, which has a very beleaguered history in bilingual education and the concepts of immersion when it was only English, that is a lot for some of the older generations to be able to really move from. And while I know people are trying, it's just not fast enough for what our student populations need today.
But it sounds like the Austin School District is paving the way, and hopefully the rest of the nation can follow suit.
We're trying to do our part, and so we will. We have every intention of making Austin proud, continuing to be a shining star here in Texas, but also making our mark on the national landscape as well. So thank you so much for your time.
Dr. Meria Carstarphen, thank you for speaking with us.
Of course.